We're talking about a normal feeling that literally sends people to the ICU every single day. I want you to just imagine hearing these words from an ER doctor. This is a real quote, by the way, spoken to a husband whose wife was found unconscious. It's just a chilling reminder that the line between feeling a little off and a life-threatening emergency can be terrifyingly, terrifyingly thin. So, to really get this, let's start with a story. Meet Sarah. She felt like she was coming down with the flu, tired, a little breathless, nothing you'd think was a major crisis, right? So she did what pretty much any of us would do. She took some Tylenol, went to bed, tried to sleep it off. But then, just a few hours later, her husband found her unconscious on the bathroom floor. By the time paramedics got there, her lips were already turning blue. I mean, that's how fast this can all escalate. And this is the really crucial point here. Sarah's story, it's not some rare one-in-a-million thing. No way. Doctors in emergency rooms see this exact scenario play out constantly. We're talking about seemingly healthy people who have absolutely no idea their bodies are in a full-blown crisis, and it's all because they ignored one simple common symptom. So, what is this hidden danger? What's the medical phenomenon behind stories like Sarah's? Well, doctors actually have a specific name for it, for these patients who seem totally fine, totally calm, even as their bodies are literally shutting down. And check out this quote from an ER doctor. It really gives you a chilling look from the front line. It says the patients who come in screaming, they usually survive. It's the quiet ones. Those are the ones that are terrifying. The people who apologize for wasting everyone's time. Yeah, they're often the sickest. So, this brings us right to the core question, doesn't it? What is this one symptom that feels so normal, so easy to ignore, that we just dismiss it until it's almost too late? The answer? It's shortness of breath. But hold on, this is really important. We're not talking about the dramatic, chest-clutching, gasping for air kind of thing you see in the movies. No, this is a much more subtle, much sneakier version. And honestly, that's exactly what makes it so incredibly dangerous. The medical term for this is silent hypoxia. So what that means is your body's oxygen levels are critically, dangerously low, but you're not getting those loud alarm bells. You don't feel like you're in severe distress. And the reason for that is terrifying. It's because your brain, the very organ that's supposed to be screaming danger, isn't getting enough oxygen itself to think clearly and sound the alarm. Okay, just think about this number for a second. 70%. That was the actual oxygen level of a 42-year-old teacher. She just felt a little weird after a cold. That's it. She actually drove herself to the hospital, walked right into the ER, and collapsed 10 minutes later. Now, to put that 70% number into perspective for you, a normal, healthy oxygen level is somewhere between 95 and 100%. Doctors consider anything below 90 an emergency. She was at 70, and she'd been walking, talking, driving her car just moments before. It's wild. So it makes you wonder, right? Why do we do this? Why do we ignore such a critical warning sign? Well, it usually comes down to 5 really common and potentially deadly mistakes we all make in our own thinking. Okay, mistake number 1. We blame it on something else. We rationalize. You know the drill. Oh, I'm just out of shape, or I guess this is just what getting older feels like. And look, being out of shape is a real thing, for sure. But a new or worsening shortness of breath, that's different. That's a change. And that change is a warning sign. All right, mistake number 2. Assuming it's just stress or anxiety. And anxiety can absolutely make you feel short of breath. But you know what else can? A blood clot in your lungs, a heart attack, a life-threatening pneumonia. And here's the problem. You simply cannot tell the difference on your own. It's impossible. Then we have mistake number 3, the wait and see approach. I'll see how I feel tomorrow. The huge problem with that is that the really dangerous causes, we're talking blood clots, infections, heart failure, they don't just get better on their own. They only get worse. Waiting just closes that critical window you have for getting help. Okay, this next one is a big one. Mistake number 4 is not wanting to be dramatic or to bother anyone. You would not believe how many people literally apologize to the paramedics for calling them. So let me be crystal clear here. Not being able to breathe properly is the definition of an emergency. That's not being dramatic. That's exactly why emergency rooms exist. And finally, the 5th and maybe the most deceptive mistake of all, the slow burn. the gradual onset. See, if your breathing gets just a tiny, tiny bit worse each day, over a few weeks, your brain just adapts. It starts to think this new, lower level of function is normal. You're like the frog in the slowly boiling water. You don't realize just how bad things have gotten until it's way too late. Okay, so that's the danger, and those are the mistakes we make. Enough of the scary stuff. Let's talk about the solution. Here is a super simple checklist, and it's based on what doctors look for to help you know when you absolutely need to act immediately. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Number 1, you feel short of breath when you're not even doing anything. You're just sitting still. Number 2, it's getting worse. Not better, but noticeably worse over a few hours or a few days. Number 3, you've got other stuff going on too, like chest pain, dizziness, or a fever. 4, you have known risk factors. Maybe you just had surgery or you were on a long flight. And number 5, and please listen to this one, your gut just tells you something is really, really wrong. You have to trust that feeling. So here's the bottom line, the absolute takeaway. If any one of those 5 things applies to you, the answer is not to make a doctor's appointment for next week. It is not to pop over to urgent care. It is to go to an emergency room immediately, right now. And to wrap this all up, let's go back to Sarah, the story we started with. Because what she said afterwards, well, it contains maybe the most important warning of all. This is what Sarah said after she finally recovered. And by the way, she spent 4 days in the ICU with pneumonia and sepsis. She almost died. And why? Because she was more worried about making a fuss than she was about listening to her own body. Look, I know that statistically, somebody watching this right now is feeling short of breath. And you've been explaining it away, right? You've been minimizing it. Maybe you're even looking for a reason not to do anything about it. Maybe you're looking for permission to take it seriously. Well, here it is. This is your permission. Go. Get it checked out. Let a doctor be the one to tell you it's nothing.